Okay, well, so good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin Ross. If we haven't met yet, I am the founding chairman of Washington First Robotics. And with us is Bill Bender. Say hi again, Bill.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for attending tonight.
Absolutely. Our goal tonight is to walk you through how to show up and what to do when you do show up for the Central Washington University FRC Regional. That'll be starting next week. Let me just give you some brief logistics of this whole thing. There's so many of you on the call. There's like 25 or 26 of us. Everybody is muted by default. And if you raise your hand or type in a great question, I will unmute you and let you say stuff. The slides from this will be available up on our website in case you want to grab the maps or any of the links out of it. And we're also recording this right now, and so if somebody you think needs to sit in on and hear all of this stuff, we will have a recording. Okay, we're going to talk about the pre-event paperwork that you'll need to do, general logistics, and how to get yourself checked in. And then what I'll do is I'll go through an overview of the schedule that you can expect for the days that you're with us, and then tell you a little bit about the key volunteers. I have front-loaded all of the very venue-specific things to the front because about half of you, again, are better at this than I am, and so the last half, if you want to disappear because you know all that stuff already, that'll be just fine. Okay. So I'm going to try unmuting Arthur. Hi, Arthur. Are you muted yourself? Do you know? Attendee is self-muted.
Hey.
There you are.
Thank you.
Okay. Arthur Morkin is from Central Washington University, and he is the regional chair for this event. And he is actually the one in charge. I am just doing the public presentation here. This will be his first time being a regional chairman, so we will be very appreciative of everything that he has done so far, and I think it's going to be a great event. They're all doing a fabulous job. So let's get through the slides here. Pre-event paperwork, we would like you to consider bringing the paperwork with you. If you look on firstwa.org and I will drag this over here. If you look under Volunteer Webinars Central Washington, you will find the links to all of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. So the first thing up there is pre-event forms, and this is a consent release form. Everybody attending the event, including the participants, are required to fill one of these out. If you'd like, you can bring yours pre-filled in, and that would be completely awesome. Let's see. Oh, I'm also going to unmute Susan because she sometimes remembers things that I don't. So hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
She was just in jolly old England for a couple of weeks. So how's jet lag? Is it getting better?
It's getting a little better. I'm awake at night and sleep during the day so far still, but that's fine.
Awesome. We're going to make a great vampire movie. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then actually, do I need, the reason that I unmuted you, did they put the nickname field into VIMS?
No, it's not in VIMS. It's in our custom software that we use developed by the Saxtons.
Okay.
So that is still true. And for those that may have attended an event prior to this one, we'll take your word for it if you have already signed a consent and release form, and you do not have to do it more than once, just one time per season. Yep.
So that answered your question, Andrew. No, if you've already done one, we trust you. Okay. So otherwise, you can email Bill Bender. He didn't know that he was going to get these emails until today. But if you don't like your official long form name and would like a nickname, we were happy to do that. This is what will show up on your name badge. Okay. If you have never been to a first event before, this is a lot of fun. There's it's a whole bunch of high school kids and mentors, and they're all running around. and there's it's in a fairly large facility. There's going to be a lot of walking during the day. You'll be on your feet a lot. So be sure and wear something nice and comfortable and wear comfortable clothing. It is a blue jeans and t-shirt event. You do not need to dress up by any stretch of the imagination. Everybody around you will be wearing blue jeans, tennis shoes, that sort of stuff. Key point, you're not allowed to wear open-toed footwear or high heels. So this is a tenny runner or hiking boot sort of thing. The reason for the no open toes is if you do ever manage to kick a piece of angle iron that's sitting on the floor, it's an injury that you will never forget. It takes eons to get over that. So, and there is a lot of sharp stuff on the floor. If you are on the field, working on the field, so if you're field reset or working sort of back behind the scoring table or whatever, we'd appreciate it if you wouldn't mind wearing long pants, maybe some darker jeans, and the volunteer shirts that we provide. We're trying to make sure that all of our events have not necessarily a stiff and formal look to them, but we want them to look like a slightly better, more professional event than so there will be a few people like the MC, and there's usually a couple of helpers that are wearing some outlandish costumes, but we kind of like to put on a somewhat consistent appearance. So we appreciate your help doing that. If you are working in inspection, in the shop or load-in, you will be either really close to a door or you will be outside. So please consider bringing a coat and something to keep yourself warm. How's the weather this week, guys?
So far, it's not bad. It was probably got up to 60 today.
Oh, geez, nicer than here. So yeah, okay, but still bring a coat anyway. It is Eastern Washington.
Yeah, just wait a day.
Just wait a day, absolutely. If you wanted to bring a reusable water bottle, we'd appreciate it. Bottled water, we are more than happy to provide it for you. However, it actually costs us money, so we'd appreciate it if you wanted to have something that you could reuse. Saves on recycling and also saves on our water bill. And anything that you're bringing with you, you probably want to write your name on it or have it labeled. So there's a lot of stuff in the building during the 3 days, and it's easy to get confused with other people's stuff. The other thing that we ask you to bring is lots of gracious professionalism. And if you're new to FIRST, what that means is that this is a very respectful event, and we're always encouraging to everybody who participates, both the students, the volunteers, and the general public. Sometimes things don't go quite as planned. As a group, Washington FIRST Robotics is actually quite well known for doing really high quality events. So we usually do a pretty good job, but especially at newer events, sometimes we learn something new at each one of these events. So if if something isn't going quite right, ask one of the more senior people for help, and just sort of roll with it. We'll there's never a need to get upset or feel like you're under pressure. If you feel like you're under an enormous amount of pressure in whatever it is that you're doing, you should let us know so that we can soothe you or help you. This is a fun event to work at, and at no time should you feel like you're being stressed out. So if you are, and some people do get a little excited and stressed out, and if you feel like you need help, or just ask. We're here to help. Okay. So with that, let's talk about the actual logistics of this particular event. The event itself is at the Nicholson Pavilion, and here's an address that actually works in Google Maps. It is in Eastern Washington, at Eastern Washington University, which, I'm sorry, I'm doing 4 of these presentations. Central Washington University is where it's at, and it's right smack in the middle of the state, so you'll be able to find that. Hang on a sec, my web is frozen for a sec. There it goes. Okay. The sort of bigger outlying area here, this is Nicholson Pavilion. There's a full-size collegiate basketball court on one side. The pits are over here on the right side. So let me zoom back in on this one again. So the contest, the contest is over here on the left side of the arena. There's a bunch of locker rooms and training stuff, and there's a hallway that runs down the front of the building, and then the pits are in an auxiliary field house sort of area on this side. When you arrive as a volunteer, you're going to come in the front doors over here on the left, and you're going to walk in, and you'll see a bank of doors that lead into the gymnasium, and just to the right of that is a stairway, and if you go up that stairway, that's where you're going to find volunteer check-in and the volunteer lounge. It's all up on the second floor, and if you can see my mouse, it's right about here on the second floor. Okay. If you need an elevator to get up there, there is an elevator available. Let me know ahead of time, and we'll get you the directions to find the elevator. Hopefully most of us are able to get around. This lot in the front, actually, Kathy, I will answer your question in 2 slides. Okay, so the sort of more general lay of the land is this is Nicholson Pavilion in the center. The Q14 is this parking lot right in front. If you're staying in the on-campus housing, there's a lot of teams staying there as well. There are nice cheap rooms available over here in all of these brown buildings. If you are interested in maybe taking advantage of those and not paying for a hotel, if you look on our website again, sorry, I'm logged in, so it's giving us something ugly. There we go. You can find campus housing information packages. Okay, and so you're able to make use of those buildings if there are any left. Okay, I'll leave it up to you to check out what is there. Additional parking, it's $5 a day for parking and stuff, but the additional parking is across the street here. Down here in the sort of lower center is the SURK, S-U-R-K, the Student Union Recreation Center. It's a really, really nice facility, and that's where our team social is going to be. And if you want to like get away and take a break and go somewhere nice, they got a nice food court and stuff in there. Okay, so most of the activities are going to be between Nicholson Pavilion and the SURK and the campus housing. And there's some other parking lots. We'll get to those in a sec.
Can you point out the Hogue building, Kevin?
Yeah, that's this one, right?
Up a little bit and to the right. That's where the right there. Yep, that's where the judges' dinner is going to be and the VIP lunch on Friday.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so if you are a judge, judge's dinner is it the hub? Is that what you called it?
Hogue, H-O-G-U-E. It's the
Hogue.
engineering building.
Got it.
So it's right across the street from the pavilion. Okay.
Thanks. That's actually something I did not know. Yay. All right. If you're involved in load-in, I just grabbed the slide out of the team briefing. All of the load-in activities to get into the pits, there's a couple of double doors right at the end of this little walkway right here. So the teams will be dropping off down here in this section of the parking lot and wheeling their stuff in and going inside. So if you're an inspector, we may be asking you to come out and sort of help direct traffic a little bit. We also have some general load-in volunteers, and I don't know where each of you are specifically assigned, but if you're involved in load-in, a lot of your world will be right out here. Okay. Logistics for parking. We're unable to provide parking passes for the participants or the volunteers. The good news, though, is that it's only $5, and you only need the permit on Thursday and Friday. Saturday is free. The permits are required basically all day, but you can go in and out, and that's just fine. Nice thing about being a volunteer is we usually show up early, so our guess is that you'll be able to park down here in Q14, and that'll be pretty handy for you. The kiosk, in case you're looking for it, is at the end of this red arrow. There's this little black thing down here. That's the pay kiosk. It takes credit cards, and so $5 a day, it's not too bad. If Q14 fills up, N19 and 20 are available, as are V7 and X22, and I'll show you where those are. N19 and 20 is directly across the street from where load-in is and sort of down and over. It's a pretty big parking lot. Again, that's $5 a day, and there's a kiosk out here in the middle somewhere. Free parking, if you don't mind a little bit of a walk, it's actually not too bad. V7, Victor 7 up here in the upper left is a free lot, as is X22. The teams have also been told that these are both free lots, so your mileage may vary. Okay, so that isn't too bad. And actually, Arthur or Bill, is this lot over here available for parking if they have a permit?
Yes. They'll just have to walk to get the permit or drive to get a permit and then come back and park.
Okay, so if you wanted to, and we didn't not tell the teams this, we just gave them those other ones. If you wanted to, volunteers, go visit the kiosk over here, get yourself a permit, and then you can go park over here if there's space available. The permit that you buy at any of these kiosks is good for any parking lot, is my understanding.
Right.
Yeah.
The V7 lot's a good alternative, though, because it's really not that far.
Yeah, and there's a nice little walkway right up here. That's pretty easy.
You need to pay attention to the signs, though. If it says staff faculty parking or half-hour parking enforced 24 hours, they will still ticket you.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, logistics food. If you're volunteering with us for the whole day, and I think most of you probably are, we will feed you. If you don't like what we've provided, there are concessions available if you want to grab a concession-style snack, hot dogs, pretzels, that sort of stuff. They're also setting up some food vendors if you're interested, or you can bring your own food. You may bring your own food into this building. They probably won't yell at you, and if they do, just apologize and take it out. So they're not officially telling us that we can, but I'd be surprised if anything happens if you did. Okay. But aside from that, we will have food for that. Do we know, is there a microwave available, guys?
Oh, I'm sure there is in a staff lounge, or we could probably bring one over to the one of the rooms over there.
Okay. We do have a couple of volunteers. Kathy Saxton is one that comes to mind in particular that oftentimes bring their own food. They have they eat better than we do. They're probably going to live longer, but that's just how it goes. All right. So far we've covered where you're going, how to park. We are going to feed you. Let's talk about checking in. Oops, the baby. I forgot to update this slide. So from the parking area, can I edit this on? No, I can't edit this real time. Okay. So from the parking area, you're going to go in the main building. These are the instructions from Seattle. Sorry about that. You're going to go in, you're going to come in the main building. You're going to go up the stairs, and you're going to check in. It does take a few minutes for you to get checked in. We are going to have you, the doors will open about 7 a.m. On Wednesday, if you do come on Wednesday night, you can check in when you arrive, whenever that is. The doors open for volunteers at 7 a.m. It's going to take probably 15 minutes the first time through. Subsequent days get a little bit faster, but please do make some allowance time for getting yourself checked in. You have to check in to get lunch. We end up giving the catering people heads up on how many people actually checked in so they don't over or underserve us. Okay. Once you have a badge, you can drop your personal items off up in the volunteer lounge. Don't bring too much stuff with you. I mean, really, honestly, most of us don't hardly bring anything at all. If you've got a purse or a bag that you really want to have with you, you can come find the production office, and we will we'll find a place to store it for you. Our production office is not very big, so try to bring a minimum amount of stuff. And breakfast it will be served up in the volunteer lounge. The volunteer lounge is on the second floor. It's actually behind a set of bleachers. There'll be signs and stuff to get you checked in up there. John has asked what meals are being served. I don't know, John, right off the top of my head. Probably typical first food. Aside from that, I don't have any details. Bill, is there a very quick synopsis of what's being served, or do we even know?
I'll have to find out. I'm sorry.
Okay. No worries.
You know,
I read the list that came through catering to Michael. I don't know if you would want to let Michael respond to that.
Tasty and nutritious.
And no calories. It's awesome. Okay. Sorry, we don't know. There is some vegetarian stuff though, I hope?
There has been in the past. I'll check.
Okay. If you will check, I assume there is, but Michael, if not, we should send a notice, especially to, we know folks.
There was eggplant on the menu I saw.
Okay. Kathy and Tom actually we have quite a few vegetarian folks. John is asking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There will be, I believe there is dinner on, there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Thursday. There's breakfast and lunch on Friday. I don't believe we're serving you dinner on Friday. And there's breakfast, lunch on Saturday. But if you're part of the loadout crew, we normally will feed you something around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Jennings? And, oh yeah, and based on the experience from last week, that we will have plenty of ice for ice bags for, Kathy got nailed by a Frisbee. I know that. And actually, quite a few people got nailed by Frisbees. So, if you're actually around the field, you are more than welcome, and let's just call it encouraged to bring a hard hat if you have one. The kids are doing what's called a tomahawk throw with the Frisbees. A tomahawk throw is not aerodynamic. It's just basically throwing a 9-ounce piece of plastic across the field, and there's no aim to it. And I think there were quite a few people got nailed by Frisbees around the field. So if you're a scorekeeper or sitting at the production desk, nothing at all. We will not laugh at you if you wear a hard hat. Hammer throw is what it's called. Yes, thank you. All right. So on we move. So part of our world is putting on an outstanding event for a whole bunch of really smart students. The other part is for us to emulate the behavior that we wish the students to emulate. So there are things that we take great pride in first events. One of them is being safe. And so if you are in the pit area, at all times you should be wearing safety glasses. If you are on the field or immediately adjacent to the field, we also ask that you wear safety glasses. We will provide them for you, but we do expect you to wear them, and we will be very gracious, but we will remind you constantly to actually put them on your eyes. We are extremely polite people, and so, you know, if the kids will be excited, some of them have never seen this before, they will be somewhat confused, some of the adults will be confused, and they get excited and tense and can occasionally have problems dealing with the flood of emotions that are going through. So, you know, always be encouraging to the kids. You know, listen to them if they're trying to tell you a story or ask you a question, and you know, just basically be very nice to everybody. That's kind of how we roll, and it's what makes first. You can high five a student at any time for completely random reasons. So if you're just walking down the hallway, feel free to chat with the kids. Feel free just to throw your hand up and get a high five out of the deal. And you know, praise kids for doing things that you think are the right thing, or for just being involved. And it's completely acceptable. Everybody there is really friendly, and you'll sort of get into the feel of things. Okay. So the general schedule for this event, Wednesday night, so Wednesday during the day for us is we're setting up and stuff. The teams show up Wednesday night, drop off the robots in the pits. Thursday they come and they spend all day working on their robots, passing inspection, practicing out on the field. On Friday, the game is actually officially starts at 9 a.m. on Friday, and it'll run till about probably about 5:30 on Friday evening. And then Saturday we have qualification matches in the morning, and Saturday in the evening or the late afternoon are the final rounds. So what does that mean for us as volunteers? The schedule overview is. Well, starting on Wednesday morning early, probably about 8 a.m., the field and AV people will be in there doing their thing. They'll be setting up the audiovisual, running power, and sort of getting the place ready for us. Field assembly is going to start about 1 p.m. So if you are part of the field setup crew, your day should plan on starting at 1 o'clock. If you want to show up at 12:30, that's fine. Hopefully we can get things started. You will be under the supervision, if you are part of field assembly, of our crack team of Frank Merrick and Carrie Denherter. Those are our field technical advisors. And Ron Baker. Hi, Ron. Are you there? Or is it just Lindy? Or are you muted? Oh. It's maybe no microphone, okay? And I know Patrick's here. Hey, hi, Patrick. How are you? Oh, Patrick has no mic either, and neither does Patrick. You aren't coming to Ellensburg, is that right? Okay, yeah. So it'll be Ron. Ron runs the show. Ron is our field supervisor. He's awesome at this. He's done it several times. Carrie Denherter is our FTA, and he between he and this guy named Frank Merrick, who is coming out. He's actually the head of FRC, but he's also a pretty good FTA. They will direct the assembly of the field. Okay, so awesome. Load-in volunteers. If you wanted to come around 4:30, definitely be there by 5. The teams will be arriving at 6, and we want to give you time to check in, get acquainted. And sort of get the process down. Load-in volunteers include inspectors. So if you are an inspector and are able to be there on Wednesday night, we are going to do some minimal. What we're doing is we're watching as things come in. Actually, I'm going to let Alita tell you what we're going to do. Alita Mendez is our lead inspector. Hi, Alita.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, awesome.
So you want to run through what the inspectors can expect on Wednesday night?
Yeah, so Wednesday night is load-in, and basically the teams are going to come and bring their robot in, and all the robots are going to be in giant bags. And with the bags, hopefully, sometimes in the bags, unfortunately, there is going to be a lockup form. And so on February 19th at midnight, basically, teams were supposed to lock up their bags and sign the form. And so we're just making sure that the bag looks okay, like it wasn't ripped, ask the team if they went, opened it all, make sure everything's good, and then they're allowed to go in and drop off the robots. And also during that time, teams are allowed to bring in 30 pounds of withholding allowance, so it's 30 pounds of extra stuff they worked on. And so we'll have scales set up and we'll weigh that if it looks like it's about 30 pounds. And teams are not allowed to work on their robots other than bringing them in and dropping them off in the pits. Nothing comes out of the bag on that day.
Cool. So Alita will be leading the charge. She is the lead robot inspector, and so if you are a robot inspector, she is your team leader for the day. So if you are part of field assembly, Ron Baker is your team leader. If you are part of the inspection crew and the load-in crew, Alita is your leader. And yeah, so Wednesday night is there's not a whole lot of action. Well, I should restate that. There's a lot of motion and there's a lot of stuff getting loaded in, and mostly we are just wrangling students. Each of these teams is only supposed to bring 5 people with them. Okay?
Kevin?
Yeah, hi.
Kevin, when should the volunteer registration thing be set up on Wednesday?
We should probably we should be setting that up at. I've got the sequence document right here.
Oh, that's on the spreadsheet? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the spreadsheet, but now that you've asked the question, we'll answer the question because...
yeah, I've been modifying that for us.
Okay. Oh, come on. You can open. There we go. So on Wednesday, we're looking for volunteer check-in to be set up by 3 o'clock.
Okay.
3 o'clock? Yeah. So that we'll be open and we'll be ready for them to be there by 5. Kathy, are you, I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Kathy. Are you a referee at this one? Or are you
I am a referee, but I am going to help with setup on Wednesday, and I will be around to help for the first approximately hour on Thursday morning to help with that initial rush to transition the new registration supervisor.
Very cool. I have a barcode reader. Do you need it?
In theory, no, but it would be nice to have it on the correct side of the mountains, so it wouldn't hurt for you to just bring it with you.
Okay, cool.
And Kevin?
They are on the trucks, on the barcode reader and the individual label printer. We at the registration table do not have a laser printer, so if you'll want that table to have the ability to print out, you know, sheets of paper with stuff like we have in the past, then we'll need a printer for that.
Okay. Susan?
I was just going to tell you that I was going to be there as well and make sure that the laptops were coming. I'm not sure whether Central's providing their own or First Wah's providing the laptop.
We're providing a laptop.
Okay.
We're providing a laptop for check-in. And thanks, Kathy. I did the fast check today. Starting to get up to speed on it.
You're welcome.
Very handy.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So we've got good resources there. All right. So for the rest of us, the team load-in, it technically ends at 8. The reality is that there's always somebody there until about 8:30, but we really want to get everybody out of there by 8:30 because you're going to have a long day on Thursday. So that's the plan. We told the teams the whole thing closes down at 8. John, I see that you would you want to make sure that we have 4 rolls of 2-inch tape. Thank you. I think I have that. Yes. Okay. And will violated robot bags be red tagged during Wednesday load-in? I'm going to let Alita will make that determination if they'll have a process for dealing with that. Okay. Off we go to the next thing. So if you've never done FIRST before, Thursday is an extraordinarily busy and kind of long and hectic day for a lot of people. It's inspection day. So as volunteers, we usually all arrive around 7 a.m. You're going to check in, have a nice breakfast. You're going to meet with your department leads, or your, and we usually end up having those little powwows around the breakfast tables up in the volunteer lounge. Load-in is going to start at 7:45 a.m. and that will be the last remnants. I know that 5 teams are planning on arriving on Thursday morning rather than on Wednesday night. They're traveling from pretty big, long distances. The pits in general will open at 8:30, and that's kind of when everything happens all at once. The pit admin table will be open at 8:30. The machine shop opens at 8:30. Inspections at 8:30. So that's kind of our big kickoff time. It becomes a complete beehive of activity. There's going to be students everywhere. You'll enjoy the mayhem. It will quiet down a little bit. Lunch in the volunteer lounge, we usually kind of stretch it out a little bit. Bill, I think we scheduled 11:30 to 1:30. Is that your understanding, Arthur?
Should be fine. Yep.
Yeah, okay. The field people usually have lunch from 12 to 1. They're going to they get to jump the line because the kids will be waiting for them if they're late. So we were all very gracious and professional and let the referees and the field people grab lunch and just sort of jump the line. The judges have a dinner meeting. Is it at 6:30 or 7?
6:30.
Thank you. I will change that in the slides. So the judges meeting is at 6:30. And then the pit's close. So inspectors, you are busy. You're really busy in the morning. From about 8:30 to about 10, it's amazing how many teams will come over, get weighed, and that sort of stuff. There's usually a little bit of a lull between about lunch and 3. And what happens is that the teams that were ready to be inspected get themselves inspected early and go run practice rounds. The teams who are not ready will start putting it off. So starting right about 2 o'clock, we start going out and actually pestering people. So there is a little bit of a lull, but there's a false sense of security. It's usually very busy in the evening. Okay. Excuse me, I forgot to put in dinner. We do have a sort of a rolling dinner break on Thursday for those of us who are expected to stay all day. Usually that starts around 5 o'clock. Inspectors, we usually sort of stage, or we don't all leave at once because so it's sort of a staggered dinner break, and we'll have more details for you when you get to the event. Andrew is asking if we're still looking for additional judges. How are we doing on judges, Bill?
You know, Arthur and I counted them up today. I think we're okay. But if someone wants to volunteer as a judge, I'm sure we could find a place.
We would take 2 or 3 if we could get them.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Yeckel, who is your head referee, I'm going to unmute you. Hi, Andrew. How are you? Oh, microphone? No microphone? Muted?
Am I there now?
Yep. So you have a judge?
Yes. I sent email to him, and he said he might contact you. He was going to decide if he was willing and able, and thought he could deal with it.
Thank you for doing that. Carrie had asked, the practice rounds start at 10 a.m. Yes. We're going with the public agenda that first published.
If it helps, I have the.
Oh, go ahead.
I have the catering open, and it says lunch 11:30 to 1:30. So your slide was correct.
Okay, good. What about dinner on Thursday?
5 to 7.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. John, the setup on this one is a little bit different than what you've seen before. You and I and Arthur will walk through it when you arrive. It'll work fine, and we should have enough volunteers for you. And we'll talk about the right way that we can do the taping. So there is plenty of room on either side of the field, but I don't want to try and explain it to you. You'll see it when you get there. It will be fine. There's plenty of room. Okay. So sorry, everybody else. You can't see the questions, but I'm watching for questions. Okay. Anyway, onward. Friday, again, volunteers show up 7 for breakfast. You'll eat, chat with your department leads. The pits open at 8 a.m. on game day. The teams will be running matches all day long. So this is actually a long day. Between the 2 days, every team gets to play a minimum of 10 times. So these are a couple of long days for us. We're going to do the opening ceremonies at 8:30. At 9 o'clock, the game starts. The game will play until noon. Again, lunch is from 11:30 to 1:30. But once again, we let the field personnel jump the line so that they get a chance to eat because they don't have any free time. 1 o'clock, the gameplay starts again. Somewhere around 5:30, we should end. We'll actually be a little bit early, I think, because we only have 50 teams at this event. My guess is that will probably be in the 5 to 5:15 range. We'll immediately follow it with the award ceremony. At 6:30, there's a team social down in the Student Union Recreation Center. You are invited to that. I'll get to that in just a sec. The pits close at 7. When we say pits close at 7, we actually start kicking everybody else out at about 6:45. And when we mean pits close, that means everybody is out of the building. So there we go. Friday night, there's a team social event. The university has been extraordinarily gracious and accommodating for us, and including the Student Union Recreation Center. There isn't a whole lot of other things to do in Ellensburg. The rodeo isn't running. That's the only other thing I know Ellensburg for, that and wind power. But the rec center will be open. There's basketball, volleyball, dodgeball, a bunch of other games. They're going to be showing a movie in the main area out there. We expect it to last from 7:30 to probably just a little after 9. We know that the movie is 2 hours and 7 minutes, so it'll probably wrap up around 9:07 or something like that. If you would like to go, we'd love to have you. There is no cost for this. You will be buying your own food, however. If you would like, please let us know that you're planning on going, and you can do that by visiting our web page. And if you look on here for RSVP for the team social, you can put your name and all your details. Put yourself in as team number 1. That way I know you're a volunteer. And let us know how many people are going to be with you. And that way we can let the nice folks at the rec center know how many people to expect. Okay. Come on, slides. Okay, there we go. Saturday, once again, 7 a.m. Same deal. We do the breakfast thing every day. It's a great way to connect with everybody. Pits open at 8. I'm sorry, this should have said 8:30 opening ceremonies, and 9 o'clock for gameplay. I will have to fix that slide. The general time that you'll have the schedule by then. It's the same basic schedule. The difference on lunch is that we have an extra activity that happens between noon and noon 30 called Alliance Selection. So lunch is actually 12:30 to 1:30. At 1:30 we start running the final rounds. As volunteers, many of us will be helping to run the field. The rest of us will start taking things down that are no longer needed, like the practice fields. We'll be packing up a lot of pit admin. We'll be packing up the inspector stuff. And we'll be helping teams load out over in the pits. We usually try and stop all of that and let everybody come in and watch the final few rounds. They're usually extremely exciting. We should, in theory, end up with an award ceremony somewhere around 4:30 in the afternoon. Immediately following the award ceremony, and actually a little bit before it, they will start disassembling the field and start packing things away. That will be in the field area. If you're part of field disassembly, Ron Baker, again, is your guy, and Carrie Denherter and Frank Merrick. They will guide you through all of that. There is a rational way of repacking everything because that truck is going to get sent. Well, I think actually it comes over here to Seattle. So we want to be nice to everything in that truck because we have to use it for a couple of weeks. Please be ready to help out, but please make sure and check if you're not sure where something goes, for God's sakes ask. Don't just stick it in a box somewhere. You will be amazed at how fast the Washington State crews can disassemble and pack up a field. We're usually done by 7:30. It's a sight to be seen. We put it on the schedule 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. loadout. Reality is you're probably out of there by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Kevin, what time should the field disassembly crew be ready to go?
Field disassembly crew should probably show up around 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'd like to that way they get to watch a little bit of stuff, and we may use them to help move some other stuff around. The reality is they'll probably end up just watching the rounds. Okay. Thank you. Kathy pointed out that this is the world's longest lunch. Whoops. 12:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. It's good. Oh, it's barbecue, baby. I can do that. Okay. If you have friends that you would like to invite to this event is free and open to the public. Friday and Saturday are the days for them. Thursday is a bogus day. They shouldn't. It's not a bogus day. It's a boring day, is what I meant to say. There's nothing public happening on Thursday. They can come walk around and talk to students, but there's no public spectacle event. The game isn't played until Friday and Saturday. The best time for spectators are about 9:30 to noon or 1 to 5. If they only had one time to be there, I'd say 1:30 to about 4:30 is the final rounds. Those are always the best rounds. We will be live streaming this. There'll be a link off of our website. And so if you have people that would like to watch, absolutely welcome to point that out to them. Okay, I'm curious why all of a sudden there is, that slide shouldn't be here. Okay. Oh, yes. Now, let's talk about our key volunteers. We have a bunch of them. You've already heard from some of them. Lita Mendez, Andrew Yeckel is our head referee. Catherine Tether, I'm sorry. She changed her name. She ended up getting married, and so I cleaned that up. She is our judge advisor, so she's the head judge. Harry Denherter is our FTA, and we also have Frank Merrick, who is actually the director of FRC. He's the FRC head honcho. He's a really great guy. So these are the sort of the key people, the key go-to people. If you are a volunteer and somebody walks up and asks you a question about the game, you are not all rulings about the game have to be from a referee. And so, unless it's just something really, really simple, you should defer all of those to the referees. The reason is that if you're not able to make a ruling, and if you give them the wrong advice, they will be forever unhappy with you. If they're asking you questions about about their robot, the best people to send them to are to the inspectors. So if they're asking a technical question, or if they're asking is this legal or not, you really need to defer them to that. Andrew, I think you're still unmuted. You had a question?
Yeah, I wanted to say, even if it's a simple question, please don't try to answer it. Please send it to the referees. I was in San Diego this past weekend, and there were several volunteers that were trying to answer gameplay questions, and they were simple questions, and they were giving the wrong answer, and it caused confusion. So please, any questions about the gameplay, send them to a referee. Do not try to answer them yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. I agree. I don't answer them either. Everybody comes to me with the questions, and I always defer them to the referees. So that's the right thing to do. The field supervisors, if there's something on the field that is out of whack, if there's something that you think is dangerous, there's something that needs repair, or if you just have questions, or if somebody else has questions about what's supposed to happen around the field, they should go find Ron Baker or one of the other wonderful people on or around the field. If all else fails, Kerry Denherter is the head game maker. And so he is the FTA. He is in charge of the game, and it's his job to make sure that the game is running smoothly. He's also the first representative. Frank is going to be with him, but my guess is that he's going to defer everything to Kerry, because that's probably as it should be. Okay, Kerry, you're here. I'm going to unmute you. How are you? Do you have a microphone? Oh, no microphone. Or they've wandered off. Okay, no sweat. Anyway, so that in a nutshell is kind of what this is like. So again, thank you all. You know, this is a lot of us have been doing this a long time, and the impact that we have on these kids is actually pretty impressive. There's over 3,000 students doing just the FRC program. Actually, I got to update that number. Let's see, 113. We got there's over 4,200 FRC students is our guess. 113. Yeah, there's at least 4,000 of them. Anyway, this program means a lot to them, and it means a lot to those of us who've been doing this a long time. And the impact that we've had on tens of thousands of lives over the years, you can really tell. You watch it on Facebook. If you've Facebook is an amazing and rewarding thing for a lot of us to be on, because we are still friends with hundreds or if not thousands of students, and years after they've graduated from high school, they still come back to do FIRST. And so it's really a testimony to the power of the program, and you're going to help be a part of that. And it's something that you should feel extremely proud of when you're done with this outstanding week. And we thank you, and the students thank you, and we are going to do some amazing stuff. All right. With that, I managed to keep myself under an hour. That's pretty good. We'll answer some questions here in just a minute. If you have direct volunteer questions about what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go, or those sorts of things, or what your assignment actually is, Bill Bender is our volunteer coordinator for the Central Washington Regional, and there is his email address. Arthur Morgan is the regional chairman. He can answer pretty much all of the rest of the questions, and if he can't, he will ask advice from those of us who will be able to answer through him. All right. That is the end of the question, and I'll go ahead and take some questions here. David Isola is asking if I have a release form on file from Portland. Do I need one for Central? No, you only need to fill out one per year. So we've got you covered. You're good. John, I saw all of your comments. Let's deal with that when you arrive, and we'll go through that with Carrie Denherter about how we're going to schedule practice rounds. So I think that we'll deal with that when you show up. Oh, Robert, that's a great question. Robert Steele has asked, if we're signed up with a team roster consent form, do we need another?
The answer is no. If you have signed up on the online form, we wish it was online for volunteers. It is not yet. But if they have signed up in the online form with a team, that is sufficient and just has to be done one time.
Thank you, Susan. I did not know that. Now I know. All right. So that makes life easy. We are still in search of a few more people that may be able to help out with inspections. If you've got anybody around that would like to participate, if you've got any more mentors on your team that might like to participate as an inspector, or at least be certified as an inspector, even if we do or don't use them, you should go ahead and have them sign up in VIMS, and we'll see what we do about get them to pass the certification test. How are we doing on inspectors, Bill? Have you looked at the list lately?
You know, yeah, we got a lot. Arthur and I went over that today, and I don't have the number in front of me, but it seemed like we were...
I think we came up with 11.
We'd love to have about 4 or 5 more, wouldn't you think, Alita?
Oh, okay.
Alita,
Yes,
Yeah, you've got about 11. The good news is that almost all of them are extremely experienced.
Yeah, so we'd take some more. Training for inspectors. John Oman is asking, John, are you, I'm going to unmute you here for just a sec. I'm going to find you. There you go. Hi, John, do you got a microphone? Or just try saying something. A lot of people are surprised they actually do have a microphone. No microphone? Okay, so first time, he's a first time. Is there training for inspectors? Alita, what do I do what do I tell John to get himself trained as an inspector?
There was an email. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. There was an email that went out. I believe one went out for Central. I'm going to all of them, and now I don't remember what I saw it for. But there is a webinar tomorrow for inspectors. So if you can get his email or something and send it to me, I can send the link again.
It is. It's now in the chat window. John Oman at processcontrolengineers.com. You see it there?
And if he's in VIMS already for this event, which he may be, if Bill will just go ahead and assign him as a robot inspector, that may also trigger some automatic emails from FRC to get testing set up for certification.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I can't remember what we had him assigned as.
Okay.
It does show
He
robot
came up on the
inspector.
inspector list.
Oh, awesome. Great. So John, and John, actually turns out John is with aviation with Robert Steele, so Robert will also help get him oriented in the correct direction. Awesome. That's great. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions that I can answer for you? Will we have a CSA booth at this event? And that's Alexander Donahue. Yes, we will. Let me show you the oh yeah, nice to see you, Sean. I'll see you when you get down there. This is sort of what the pits look like in the right-hand side of that building. But you have to mentally take all of the inspection stuff and all of the pit stuff and swap walls. We're going to move inspection down here. And Alexander, you will be in this row of tables right down here with the inspectors.
And
Okay.
Alexander's also going to be supported by Bob Hoffman from NI.
Outstanding. John Grimm, oh, you didn't get the email for the inspector webinar, okay? John
We'll go
Grimm
ahead and just send that out to the list we have again. So I'm checking with Darren now. I'll send it out for the others too.
okay. And do you know how to run GotoWebinar, by the way? Do either one of you, or you or Darren?
Darren's neither of us have.
Okay.
They're inspectors. Can't they figure it out?
They'll figure it out.
I can figure it out.
Sure.
Have a can-do attitude.
I'll send you the password and stuff so that you can log on. It's really pretty easy. Okay. Do I have a drawing of the playing field area and queuing? You know what? That is Michael. Is there a do you remember seeing a drawing of the field area recently?
No.
John, no. Sorry.
That was a firm no.
That was a very firm no. I don't recall seeing one.
If you go back to the slide with the aerial view of the field house.
Sure. It is. Oh, come on! You're supposed to switch over. Oh, sorry. This is a PDF. There it is.
So for John, the pits that were right here, that drawing that we just had, they're
That's
going to
over
come
here.
out a double door, down a hall, through a hall, in through 4 double doors, and then it's going to look just like Portland that you were at last weekend.
Yeah. It looks just like a first setup, John. It's a collegiate basketball court with there's probably an extra 20 feet on both sides. There's plenty of room. We do have one oddball thing, and you'll see that when we get there. The lighting system is being done on trees, which means that there are 4 posts, and so that's the weird part. I don't have a drawing to show it to you, but roll with it. When you get there, we'll get you all set up. I made sure that when we went through it with the production people that I was thinking explicitly about queuing and where people were going to go and how they get from one side to the other. So I think I had a pretty good handle on it. All right. Any other questions I can handle? All right, well, let's call that a wrap then, and thank you all very, very much for attending. I know I didn't get a chance to unmute everybody, but we got quite a few of them unmuted, and we look forward to seeing you starting next Wednesday. I can't believe it, it's a week from tomorrow, and we will have a great time in Ellensburg. This is a great crew, and it'll be a lot of fun.